I'm Scott Martin. I'm a shot putter and discus thrower, Australian record in the shot put and Commonwealth champion in the discus, and I'm going to Beijing Olympics this year. It'll be my first Olympic Games and pretty excited about it. Got into shot put from school. Started as a primary school kid, and I made the state championships, which was a huge deal for a Wodonga kid. And I went down to the state champs, and I came about 28th in the shot. I think I got absolutely smashed, but I thought it was really good deal, and I thought I was pretty good at it. And so I joined my local little athletics club, and within about a year I was national champion in disc and shot. So I picked it up really quickly. From there on, I went through the junior system, World Youth, World Juniors, and then Commonwealth Games in 2006 was my first senior team, and now onto the Olympic Games. Yeah, I think I was about 16 when I decided that I could actually do something in the sport. I wasn't one of those kids that grew up thinking, I could go on to make an Olympic Games. I just did it because I loved it, and I loved my Aussie rules football as well, and I sort of wanted to play for the Bombers, but I ended up doing the shot put. And when I was 16, I made my first World Youth Championships and finished 6th at that World Youth Championships, and I thought, maybe this is my chance and maybe I can be an Olympian, and that was the first time it really kicked in. I just started weights when I was about 16, so I was probably into a bit of the bicep curls a bit more back then than what I'm into now, but I just sort of started the weights and started conditioning my body. A basic training week, we do about 40% in the weight room, 40% on the athletics track throwing, probably about 300 or 400 throws per week, and then another 20% of jumping, sprinting, mobility work, core work, all that sort of thing. So we need to be a real athlete. Like for me, I need to bench 250 kilos to throw far, and I also need to be able to run fast. And my 100 metres time's about 11.2, so we've got to be really fast, dynamic, as well as really strong. So we do a lot of different sorts of things, and a lot of hurdle jumps, a lot of grandstand jumps. We even push the car up the hill in winters, just for a bit of that real brute work. Squats are huge, behind the neck presses are massive, but we have to do a full workout there as well. A lot of core work. We do lots of heavy weighted core works rather than crunches, and we do a lot of heavy weights, twists, and a few other things like that. You get some strong throwers with bad technique that throw okay, and some weak throwers with good technique that throw okay, but unless you're strong and have good technique, you're not going to be a top 5 in the world kind of athlete, which is where I'm working towards now. It's one of those things where you have to bench press a certain amount and squat a certain amount to actually throw far. You've got to bench press 220 kilos, squat 300 kilos, or you're not going to be competitive. But on the flip side, you can't rely on that. So it's a really difficult balance. And for me, I put a lot of emphasis on my technique, and a lot of emphasis on my technique in the gym as well, and making sure that not only you're doing a bench press, but you're doing it to help your athletics. So we do a bit of a dynamic bench press, and we do some dynamic lifts, jerks. They're all sort of complementing the shot put movement, and that's the most important thing for us. So everything we do is towards the shot put movement. Yeah, nutrition is probably the most important thing for me. It's no use doing a big weight session without the proper nutrients coming in, so I have heaps of the Max's protein shakes, especially the recovery shakes, and the nighttime shakes. I love the nighttime one. It just helps so much with the recovery. For me, I'm doing heavy weight session for 3 hours, and then I've got to back it up the next morning with an early morning throw session, and usually you feel a bit sluggish and a bit tight, but when you use the recovery stuff and you eat the right things, so I eat lots of steaks, vegetables, together with the post-workout proteins, I find that it really helps my conditioning a lot, and I can wake up fresh the next morning and throw again. Yeah, I have about 10 eggs for breakfast. Most of it's egg whites, just a big omelette with some toast and lots of coffee. A protein shake probably around mid-morning. Lunch will be usually a rice or pasta dish with chicken or beef, and then again a pre-workout protein shake. Training, a post-workout protein shake, and then I usually have a fairly small dinner, but just steak and vegetables, something along those lines, and then a nighttime protein shake later on. So probably about 8 meals a day. Yeah, I'm probably middle to lower end of the scale. I'm 135 kilos, 6'3". The biggest guy is 6'10", 160 kilos, and there's a lot of guys around 160 kilos, so probably I'm a little bit lighter than most of those guys, but maybe I'm a little bit younger as well. You can't be too heavy if it makes you feel sluggish and you lose speed. But for me, I think 135 kilos, I'll probably go up to as high as 145 kilos in the next 5 years, and that'll be my competition weight. Yeah, well, my Australian record, 21.27, would have won the gold medal in Athens, which is by no means means I'm going to win the gold medal in Beijing, but it certainly puts me amongst it. I think 21.27 hasn't not been in the medals in the last 20 years of athletics, so it's pretty exciting to have that opportunity and be in that position. But it's all about on the day for us. You train so hard. It's like a golfer. There's no good being able to hit fairways and training and not be able to do it on the day. So for me, I've got to go out and throw a really big throw, and I've got to get all the emotions, soak it all up, and make sure that I grunt loud and feel strong, and I'll get my bench press up, and everything's got to work at the same time. So that's what I'm working towards. Expectations for Beijing, I'll be unhappy if I'm not in the top 8. I'll be definitely hunting the medals, and if it's my day and everything comes together for me, then I'm a gold medal chance.